easier. Speaking of food, tip number 39 is going to be opening up multiple food sources for yourself. Now, it might take you a little bit to get to this point in the game, but eventually you'll have enough of a farm where you'll have a bunch of vegetables going at once. You can even have an animal farm for some just like extra sustenance. If you're able to set up multiple farms and you do them right, you'll never ever have to leave your house for food, and it's just almost an infinite generating source. Combine that with the fact that when you organize your food properly, then you'll never ever have to worry about food again, and you can focus your time on other stuff. I recommend setting up as many vegetables as possible, as well as having like both a pig and cow farm at the same time. Tip number 38 is going to be taming yourself a wolf and having it as a companion. Now, you can do this with multiple animals that will actually be your companion if you do it right. Like, for example, you can tame a llama if you so wish, and you can tame multiple animals as well, but definitely one of the essentials is to tame a wolf, have it as your companion, because it'll do so many great things for you. It'll follow you wherever you go. It'll fight for you if you start attacking something, and can be like a second hand in saving your life. Keep in mind, you cannot bring them to the Nether, unfortunately, so they're going to have to stay in this part of the realm, but you can leave them in your house if you like as well. And as a side note, I just think they're honestly pretty cool to keep around. Number 37 is remembering that you can use excess wood as fuel if you so need to. Now, I don't recommend this for most players because odds are if you're able to gather enough coal, you're never going to need to use this. But a lot of people forget they can burn in the oven using some excess wood they have, and they don't necessarily need to have coal on hand. You can also make charcoal if you need. However, I will say wood has much more utility than just burning it, so make sure you think twice about doing it and only do it if it's your last resource. Tip number 36 is going to be keeping a lava pit as sort of a garbage bin. Now, odds are when you've done enough of survival, you have a lot of excess material that you can just throw away, and there's not really a clear place to do away with it. You might accidentally keep picking it back up and just getting in the way. It's getting annoying, so keep a lava pit somewhere safe. Obviously not by any wood, as it'll catch on fire, but if you keep it around some stone, you can just use this as a trash can to throw all your excess materials away. Tip number 35 is going to be keeping your nether portal safe. Now, it doesn't really matter too much where you put it in like the regular earth realm on Minecraft. Like, you can keep it in your house, you can put it on a hill, whatever you want. What's important is protecting it on the other side when you get to the nether, because what happens, it's going to spawn essentially anywhere in the nether at all. And if as soon as you come out of the nether, you're in danger from like a ghast or something, or there's a lot of enemies around you, it's just in an unsafe place. What I recommend you do is kind of build like a turtle shell defense around your portal, because that's your really only ticket home. You've got to prevent that portal from being destroyed if it's under attack by any means necessary, so building a kind of turtle shell defense around that portal so it doesn't get blown up is the best way to keep it safe. Another thing you can do is build your corners of the portal out of cobblestone so that you save a little bit more of that obsidian if you need to make a secondary portal. Number 34, this is going to sound pretty self-explanatory, but it's still very important, is to make sure you're prepared when you're entering the nether. This means maybe have some enchantments for fire resistance, also have a water bucket, of course. Water bucket is arguably more important than anything you could take to the nether, so make sure you have one before you go. Having a lot of food is necessary because there's not a lot besides mushrooms you can get out of here either. A lot of this you guys know, but general preparedness is good. Number 33, guys, is going to be making a beacon to signal your house. Now, this is going to require you to get some pretty decent materials in this game, as well as some diamonds, so it's not something you can build right off the bat, but when you have the resources in order to be able to build the beacon, it's so unbelievably good to have because it'll mark a spot that'll shine a bright beam right into the sky, pointing out where you need to be. The beacon is so important to not get lost if you're struggling with that. Tip number 32 is iron is one of the most valuable things in the game, even though it's very easy to find. It is the best multi-purpose ore you can ever have, so what I recommend you do with all of your iron is make all of your like everyday tools, your swords that you're going to burn through, your pickaxes, your armor, whatnot. If you have diamond stuff, that should be for only when and if you need it, but you should have loads of iron tools in circulation, and if one breaks, it doesn't matter because the resource is very easy to find. It's a very strong material on everything it's used on, and I recommend in general just stocking up on it to have at your leisure. Number 31 is going to be making yourself some potions. This is likely going to be after you visited the nether at least once and gathered some materials, but potions are so useful to have at hand, and they range for anything from having a potion of night vision ability, some that heal you, some that make you invisible, you name it. There's an unbelievable amount of potions in this game, and I recommend that if you really want to start taking this game to the next level and using some cool abilities, to invest in that. You're going to need to get the required tools and materials to brew the potions, obviously, but it's definitely worth something sinking your time into. Tip number 30 is going to be looting desert temples if you're ready and you know what you're doing. Now, this is basically like a big noob trap here. If you don't know what these are all about, it'll present to you a chest at the bottom of the temple that looks very easy to get. But as some of you experienced Minecraft players, you'll know that this is a trap and you'll end up dying. The whole temple will essentially explode if you kind of fall into the trap. But clever players know a way around this, and you can actually get the loot out of it. Some of the loot you can find are things like saddles. You can find horse armor. Some really rare and interesting items can be taken from these desert temples, but they obviously do come with a risk if you're